And shout out to Scottie Scheffler.
Oh, yeah,
Scottie Scheffler, as I was, watching what he was doing yesterday, with my daughter running around, so you catch it back. It's great backdrop. Great. A little earlier in the day, because they're in Ireland, so obviously they're 6 hours, 7 hours ahead. So in the morning, you get a chance to watch it as opposed to just the afternoon. So there's some pros and some cons. Long day afterwards with nothing afterwards,
Sure. Yeah.
So that is certainly a give and take that we had there. But watching this dude, it's like, what words do you use to describe him? I guess inevitable. I guess that is a word that you could describe him as. Going into any tournament, it's just like Scottie Scheffler's probably going to win this thing. I even put out a tweet that's like every 3 weeks I get a chance to see his family. Little Bennett, this boy's growing so quick.
Yeah.
Last time I seen this guy, was at his previous win, which was just a few weeks ago, and then previous wins a couple weeks before that. We're keeping up with him every couple weeks here. It's like I'm following him on Facebook. It's like I'm catching up with their family portraits basically as they're going. Beautiful family, happy family. Little boy almost getting up that hill to get to the green. Fantastic. But all in all, the only word you can really say about Scottie Scheffler is obviously. It's like, hey, he has a 4-stroke lead. He's going to go right for it. There's going to be a lot of danger in between. He doesn't have to do it. He can play safe. He's going to get it to 6 feet, actually, obviously. That is what Scottie Scheffler's going to do. Hey, for the 10th consecutive time, he's had a lead going into a Sunday, 4 strokes or more. And now this is the first hole. Is he going to be nervous? Is he going to come out a little gun shy? He's going to go ahead and put it to tap-in length on the first hole. Let the rest of the field know, like, hey, this Sunday is exactly how every other day is going to go. Then we go, obviously. What a stroke. Middle of the fairway. What's that mean? Oh, he mashed his drive to a perfect location. Hangs that thing up high right. What's the topography going to do for you? Oh, it's going to put it right next to the hole. It's like anytime he needs a shot, he shows up and does it. And I hate to kind of harp on this, because it does feel like it steals the chatter a little bit. People are like, Scottie's not entertaining enough to be a top man, a leading man. Does he have the personality of the guys in the past? Tiger, we had the red shirt on Sunday. We had the fist pump. We had the intensity. We had the entire thing. What do we have with Scottie? What do we have with Scottie is just like, every shot's a good one somehow.
Yeah.
Every single shot somehow is being great. And he's starting to show a little bit more emotion. Yeah. He's starting to introduce himself to the world a little bit more. He's given some deep perspective takes about life and golf and his deal as a professional athlete and how he views it over the last few days. And I want to let Scottie Scheffler know, we love you, buddy. You're great for sports. And people watching you do your thing at the highest level in the biggest moments with the most amount of pressure, and you not cracking at all. You staring down the biggest moment and the hardest moment, because in golf, if you're off by that much, it's over. He could still score a 9 on a hole.
Yeah.
There is still a chance that could happen on any swing. He said, can't wait to get to Memphis. Now everybody's even par yet again. Here he is on 12 for a birdie. 11 was a tough hole everybody's talking about. 12, you bounce back, get a birdie here, no problem. How you doing? Keep it moving. Then he wraps it up on 18 with like a 3-foot tap in, as the guy that he's playing alongside basically said he was a joy to play with.
Yeah,
the guy's happy. He doesn't seemingly have any bad traits about him at all. The way he views life is spectacular. I think there's a chance he might start smoking a little weed.
Sure.
Which I am a huge proponent of. If not, he's been at the top of the mountain long enough now that he's been able to look around and be like, hey, all I wanted to do was get here. This is all I wanted to do, is become the best I could possibly become. Be the best in the world. Get to the top of this mountain. He gets to the top of the mountain, he looks around. This is it. This is what I committed my entire life to. He gave an answer yesterday afterwards. It was like, when I was 4 or 5 years old, I used to wear pants to the golf course because I saw professional golfers do it. All I've ever wanted to do is become a professional golfer. My entire life, I've tried to become a professional golfer. And then you get here and you realize that the only good time is right after you win. And then it's like a 2 to 3 minute feeling. And then it's like, okay, got to get home back to America, got to get to my family, got Memphis on Tuesday, everybody's even par. This is kind of the same notion that everybody that gets to the top of their respective fields kind of starts to feel. It's either your win is a relief and a loss is total devastation. He's at that point now in a sport that it's not supposed to have that type of expectations, where if he's in a tournament, he's supposed to win it. And if he doesn't win it, it's like, what happened? And if he does win it, it's like, well, he's supposed to win it. Let's see what happens next. I hope there's a chance for Scottie to continue to be able to play as well as he's playing while viewing the world this way. And I hope he continues to balance life and golf at the same time, because I think he's doing it better than any megastar has ever done it, any phenom has ever done it. And then you listen to Jordan Spieth talk about him afterwards, kind of could have been... kind of felt like a shot. About how he does things differently than all of us, and he doesn't do as many corporate events. He's not chasing money. He's not chasing any of this. He just wants to play golf and be with his family, and he's able to turn it off when he goes home. And he said he was going home with them, and he wasn't able to. It's like Scottie Scheffler might be the most relatable, normal, awesome dog
Yeah.
in the history of sport. He is a dog. To get this good, you have to have a maniacal work ethic. You have to be dialed in. You have to know every little thing about your swing, the golf ball, the golf course, and everything else that's happening around you. To do that, the amount of work you have to put in is absurd. So we'd like to say to Scottie, we appreciate the hell out of your commitment to your sport. We appreciate the hell out of your commitment to you and us watching your baby boy grow up into inevitably becoming a champion, which we assume will happen in anything. Doesn't matter what he does, if it is golf or something else. We can't wait to follow along, and thank you for what you're doing for sports. Because when your name's on a leaderboard or when you're in a tournament, it is must watch, because there's a chance that he goes 7 straight holes and hits the best shot you could possibly hit on every single shot. Let's go to one half of the hammer. Dahn, Cowboys AP Tone. He's untouchable right now, and the only person that you can compare him to is Tiger Woods. And he and Tiger, polar opposite human beings, both wear the check mark, though.
Yeah, they do. The only person, like the current run that he's on is Tiger, like, and I hope he continues to do it. You know, like Koepka, Spieth, Rory, they had run similar to this, but the difference between that and Tiger was that Tiger just did it forever. But you talk about being on the leaderboard and being in the tournament. He has put the PGA Tour on his back. He's got 11 straight top 10s and 30 of the last 36. That's the last 2 years. He's been top 10. If he's been in the 30 of 36, he's been finished in the top 10. So like if Scottie's playing in a tournament, he's going to be in the top 10. He's going to be there, and everyone's going to tune in to watch Scottie. He's literally putting the tour on his back.
And if we know anything from Swing to Survive.
Yep. Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Full swing.
Drive to
There
swing.
it is.
Drive to swing.
Full swing on Netflix. Their schedules are horrendous.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's back in Memphis Tuesday or Wednesday. So he was just obviously in Northern Ireland, has to fly back to Dallas, Texas. Then he's in Memphis. That's on Tuesday, Wednesday-ish he has to go in there, get the course, get a practice round, Pro-Am. I assume he's not doing those Pro-Ams anymore. Who knows?
I hope not.
I hope he isn't either.
Yeah.
Guy's making top 10. He's in every single weekend. He's doing this entire thing. But it's like him being able to balance being a human while their touring schedule is insane over there. Not a lot of time down, not a lot of time with family. The fact that he's been able to balance it all and figure it all out, I'm proud of him. I'm pumped for him. Let's go to the Talks Table at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. Con man, your thoughts on old Scottie Scheffler carrying golf right now for all of us. And even, I think the LIV guys and the PGA guys, they're all saying, that's the motherfucker right there.
Yeah.
And that's a good place to be if you're him.
Yeah, and thank God we got him. Like, I feel like without Scottie, it is a much different tournament. Obviously, it's a major. No matter what, you're going to tune in. But I think that was my biggest takeaway, is that when it is a major, you want, 18th hole coming down to the finish. Everybody's tied, and you're damn near going to go to a playoff. But when it comes to Scottie, when it is like that, and you're just watching Scottie Scheffler golf, because that's all it was. You weren't watching for competition. You weren't watching to see who's going to win. Scottie's going to win. You're watching Sunday just to see what he does, and he delivers. Like, that's why I think I have grown to love Scottie so much, is because it's not like a, hey, walk in the park. You mentioned it. The first hole, he's basically going for the hole. He's going for a damn albatross, and he doesn't need to. I think that's why it is so entertaining, and it is great to have a dominant golfer, because even when all those guys were going, Brooks was making his run and everything, there wasn't like the clear-cut number one. Tony just said it. In the last 2 years, he's been top 10 in 30 events. Like, he is by far the greatest golfer. He's head and shoulders above whoever you want to put at number 2, and I think that's why it has been so entertaining to watch some of these matches, because he's just balling out.
Yeah, I enjoy watching him golf. And what can't be lost in all this, D-Butch, 9-year NFL vet, is the amount of work that has to go in to get to this point. Because he's just so ho-hum all the time. It's just like, I just hit it 350. I just put it to 2 feet on a Sunday at the Open, a major that I have never won before. I just made a huge putt. He made, I forget what his putts were. He has the best day he's ever had putting, I think. Yes. I think he's figured out the putting, because the putting was kind of the question mark here. How good was Scottie's putting? Says Jamie Kennedy, great account, pulled up some great stats. He finished the week 59 of 63 putting inside 10 feet. Okay? So those are the ones that are, first of all, they piss you off.
Yeah, the knee knockers.
Yeah, the knee knockers are the ones that piss you off. But also, if you're able to make those, you can gain a lot of strokes. Scottie Scheffler used to miss every once in a while at distance, and everybody was like, his only weakness is his putter. His only weakness is his putter. It's like, the guy's won 3 majors. I don't know if his putter is that weak. I understand it's not as good as his irons or his driver, but he went to work on his putter. Very clear, very evident.
Changed his grip.
Yeah,
changed his grip, and he went to the claw grip, and it's been different since. And you talked about everything, man. How his
peers speak about him. I think DeChambeau, he spoke about him after. I think they're both like Dallas area kids. He was like, look, I used to play against Scottie all the time. He was never that good. You talked about the work ethic. Like, he was bogey free up until that par putt. That was when he showed like the biggest, emotion. When he had the big fist pump. He had that double bogey a little bit later. But that kind of shows you, even though I'm head and shoulders above the field, I'm going to win this tournament. I care about my next shot, my next stroke. He's just dominant. It's not like he's perfectly fundamentally sound. He's not like an Adam Scott or like a Rory. Like, you look at that, okay, this is the perfect swing. His feet are always different. His finishes with his hands. So a guy that like me, who's kind of fairly new into golf, and watching him do it and watching him do it his way and still be kind of like just himself. It's almost like watching Barry Sanders. Like, Barry Sanders, he was dominant. He did freaky shit on the field every Sunday, but he wasn't like Speed. He wasn't doing all the other things. And obviously this is an individual sport, so he can win, unlike Barry on those old Lions who had to struggle with some tough teams. But it's been special watching Scottie, man. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a good comparison there, Barry Sanders. I never thought of that as you're saying it.
Because,
I'm like,
Barry
where's he from?
With.
Where's Barry Sanders from?
Kansas.
What's
Where
city?
at? Whereabouts?
Wichita.
Oh!
I'm not going to lie. The first, it's tough.
You're really trying to put some sauce on Wichita.
Now. Yeah, it's even tougher.
Wichita. Yeah, like a little Spanish. The I, the first I, hard. Second I, pronounce that thing as an E.
Accent.
Yeah, Wichita, Kansas is not a bad spot. But yeah, obviously, Barry Sanders handed the ball back to the official after a touchdown. People still are told that to this day. It's like watching Scottie Scheffler. Will he be like this for 20 years? Possibly. And you talked about his swing being new to golf. Everything they tell you, you're not supposed to do. Hey, those feet need to remain the same. Those feet need to stay there. Somehow, Scottie's been able to dance, obviously not in his irons, but in the driver, in the tee box, he does the hokey. That son of a bitch is right foot in, left foot in, both feet out, bombs.
Jumping.
So it's like, obviously, you got to find your swing.
Every time. You see that target?
Boom, the triangle, the little triangle. Hey, this is where you need to aim. It's like they were golfing in Pittsburgh. Third tree over, this is where you need to hit it. And then all of a sudden, Scottie's ball is just, and then, oh, wait, is it going to come back? Of course it is. Like a magnet. The guy's unbelievable.
Crazy. He fooled me this weekend. I thought, when he was talking all the deep shit, because you mentioned it, talk about all the greats, Peyton, Tom, Jordan, Tiger Woods, like they weren't speaking on any of this. They just spoke on dominating and killing the opposition. So for him to be having those deep answers going into it, do we have the video?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to it.
It feels like you work your whole life to celebrate winning a tournament for like a few minutes. It only lasts a few minutes, that kind of euphoric feeling. And to win the Byron Nelson Championship at home, I literally worked my entire life to become good at golf, to have an opportunity to win that tournament. And you win it, you celebrate, you get to hug my family, my sister's there. It's such an amazing moment. And then it's like, okay, now what are we gonna eat for dinner? Life goes on.
There's traffic outside, we gotta win.
Is it great to be able to win tournaments and to accomplish the things I have in the game of golf? Yeah. I mean, it brings tears to my eyes just to think about, because it's literally worked my entire life to become good at this sport, and to have that kind of sense of accomplishment, I think is a pretty cool feeling. To get to live out your dreams is very special. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not out here to inspire the next generation of golfers. I'm not here to inspire somebody else to be the best player in the world, because what's the point? This is not a fulfilling
Don't do
life. It's fulfilling from the sense of accomplishment, but it's not fulfilling from a sense of like the deepest, places of your heart. There's a lot of people that make it to what they thought was going to fulfill them in life, and then you get there and all of a sudden you get to number one in the world, and then they're like, what's the point? And I really do believe that, because what is the point? You're like, why do I want to win this tournament so bad? That's something that I wrestle with on a daily basis. It's like showing up at the Masters every year. It's like, why do I want to win this golf tournament so badly? Why do I want to win the Open Championship so badly? I don't know. Because if I win, it's going to be awesome for about 2 minutes. And then we're going to get to the next week, and it's going to be like, hey, you won 2 majors this year. How important is it for you to win the FedEx Cup playoffs? And it's just like, we're back here again, So we really do. We work so hard for such little moments. And, I'm kind of a sicko. I love putting in the work. I love being able to practice. I love getting out to live out my dreams. But at the end of the day, sometimes I just don't understand the point, because I don't know if I'm making any sense or not, but am I not? It's just one of those deals. I I love the challenge. I love being able to play this game for a living. It's one of the greatest joys of my life, but does it fill the deepest, wants and desires of my heart? Absolutely not.
What do you find fulfilling?
I mean, I love playing golf. I love being able to compete. I love living out my dreams. I love being a father. I love being able to take care of my son. I love being able to provide for my family out here playing golf. And, every day when I wake up early to go put in the work, my wife thanks me for going out and working so hard. And when I get home, I try and thank her every day for taking care of our son. It's just, that's why I talk about families being my priority, because it really is. I'm blessed to be able to come out here and play golf, but if my golf ever started affecting my home life, or it ever affected the relationship I have with my wife or with my son, that's going to be the last day that I play out here for a living. This is not the be-all, end-all. This is not the most important thing in my life, and that's why I wrestle with, why is this so important to me? Because, I would much rather be a great father than I would be a great golfer. That at the end of the day, that's what's more important to me. When I sit back at the end of the year and, I kind of try to reflect on things, like having that sense of accomplishment from winning the Masters tournament, from winning the PGA Championship, I have a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation for it. But it's just hard to explain how it just doesn't satisfy, is how I would describe it. It's an unsatisfying venture. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is this is not the place to look for your satisfaction. This is something that's where you can have a great appreciation for and a great amount of thankfulness for being able to do this. And like I said, it's literally one of the most fun things that I can do in my entire life. I love being able to come out here and play golf and compete, but at the end of the day, it's just not what satisfies me.
He says all that before winning the Open.
Yeah.
Okay, he says all that before winning the Open. Whenever golf is an in-between-the-ears game, more so than any other sport, because of, if you miss by that much, it's a shank. It's a whole different tournament. You got to hit the thing pure every single time to know where you're going. And I am at a much different level than Scottie Scheffler at all things. Being a human, it sounds like, being a father, being a husband. He checked all the boxes in there about how, hey, whenever we prioritize what's important at this stage of life. Now, if you were to ask him at 18, okay, it's vastly different. Now he's generated a lot of capital. He understands what's available. He understands what life is. At this stage of my life, if you were to ask me what's important, it's this and this. Now, this being great is an amazing thing. And there were some people that took it negatively, and that's always going to happen. I think what Scottie Scheffler just said was incredibly profound.
Yeah.
I think it was amazing to hear the insight of what it's like to be one of the greatest of all time at something. And at a much smaller level, whenever I talked to Jim Irsay about retiring, I told him, I was like, I thought, because I didn't really know how to punt when I got drafted to the NFL. So my entire chase was like, I want to become the best in the world at this. I want to figure out how I can become the best at this, the best at this, the best at this. I want to get better for my team every day, work, bam, 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 bam. Every decision I was making was like, am I going to be a better punter or a worse punter because of this? Can I kick balls further because of this? And then I finally get to the point where I think, I don't want to speak out of pocket here, but I think everybody kind of realized that I became the best in the world at my jobs. I was doing multiple, kicking off, punting, and holding. We almost had 2 perfect seasons. So, I think all those things, I got to the point where some would consider me the best in the world at it. And I got up there, and I was like, I thought I'd feel different. Still get diarrhea. Still have traffic. My power still goes out at my house. Plumbing's still an issue. I still have all these problems that I thought were just going to disappear if I became great at it. And I was very confused by that. I said that at the gym. I was like, that was a tough thing for me to kind of grasp, because this thing that I was chasing was vastly different whenever I got there than what I thought it was going to be. And Jim, immediately, he had a vape. His vape smoke was going out. He could have been a professional
Cloud.
vape blower, I think,
Sure.
with the amount of smoke. He said he was talking to one of the Beatles. I think it was Ringo Starr. He said, I was talking to Ringo, brother, and he said they got all the way up to the top, and they just stayed up there. And at some point, you're at the top of the mountain, you look around, and you go, this view isn't as good as it was. This view is nowhere near what I thought it was going to be whenever I was puking on the way up here, when I was sacrificing my entire life on the way up here, when I was giving up friendships, when I was giving up moments. I get all the way to the top of the mountain because this is what we're trying to get to, and the view is not worth it, just not worth it. So now what do? Well, now you just got to hang out up there and look at something that you almost feel is like a regret because this is what you chose to focus on. And he said, but what the people at the top of the mountain forget is that there was a time when you couldn't see that view. And the view kind of gets lost behind the mountain. And then every once in a while, you see a reset. People kind of get reset. You get dropped back down. And then all of a sudden, it's like, wait a second, that view wasn't that bad. Then you come back. And he said it's very natural in, like, people's lives. So I wonder if that'll happen for Scottie. Inevitably. I'm not saying it's going to happen anytime soon. Obviously, he's incredible. But inevitably, it feels like whenever you get to the top of the mountain, you're not always going to be able to remain fulfilled. You're not always going to remain satisfied. Everybody has to find something to continue to work for. That's why, like Nick Saban, whenever he wakes up every day, Bill Belichick every day, that Mamba mentality at Kobe every day, it's unique. It is a very, very unique thing that I think a lot of people from a lot of different fields struggle with. And I think Scottie's in the middle of it like, I've sacrificed my entire life to be this guy. And it's amazing. And then all of a sudden, Bennett just blew up his diaper.
Sure.
Okay, we need some wet wipes here. We need to move on. I'm still a human. I've loved everything he said.
Yeah, it was perfect. And that's why I think a lot of people, find other things like, like even like ayahuasca. So find like, okay, what's the true meaning of this? But like when you have, you have kids and, you reach all those different pinnacles, whether it's drafted, whether it's signing $100 million deal or doing whatever it is. And then you realize, okay, there are things that are much more fulfilling, but you rarely hear that from a guy that's entering his prime. Like, dude's like 29. Like, you heard, like, Kobe, God rest his soul, like, he was that guy kind of towards the end of his career after he was done. But it's usually when guys are old and washed up and it's kind of behind them, they're looking back. You rarely hear guys speaking like that when they are at the pinnacle. So I love everything about what he's doing, obviously, on the course and then off the course as well. I think it's a great message, not only to athletes, but just to everybody.
I think so, too. And, AJ, you think this is potentially a little mental game he's playing with himself?
I think it's
like, hey, this ain't that important.
Yes,
for sure. I think it's hugely beneficial, especially as a golfer, because I think that frees him up to go out there and play. Because like, what's the worst that can happen? I'd lose this tournament. Cool. I still got my awesome life outside of this, and we know golf. Like, look at the stress that these guys are under every single shot. Like, say you're a dude that's a stud, but you're trying to get your first major or whatever, and you have the lead heading into the last day. You have to sleep on the lead and tee off at 3 p.m. Golf is a sport where you have to be free. You have to feel like you can let it go. And I feel like Scottie, because of his mindset, because of his perspective, it frees him up. He's like, hey man, like, yeah, I work my ass off all day, every day, but I understand this isn't who I am. But yeah, it's awesome. How about I just I'll be the best dad and husband and the best golfer in the world. Let's see how many years I can make that go.
Well, and Jordan Spieth saying he's able to turn it off when he goes home and everything like that. That's rare. Like, this dude's this is a rare mindset that people at the top have. And it might be a mental game, to minimize golf in his eyes. Like, hey, we already have it all. And the Nike ad was sick. You've already won.
Mm-hmm. So dope.
But another major is nice, or whatever it is. It's like, it certainly is. That mindset in golf can be a very, weaponizing. That could be a very good one. Knowing that, hey, alternate plans here, go hang out with my kid. That's not a bad little fallback plan. But you talk about the guys trying to make it and how nerve-wracking it all is. There was a stat that came out, obviously, we all saw it. I think we posted in the first hour. That's 10 consecutive Sundays he's had the lead going into the day, and he ends up winning. Only 27 more straight to catch Tiger Woods. Now, he's not even 30 years old, so this could happen, right? Tiger had 37 consecutive Sundays where he woke up with the lead and ended up winning. That's unbelievable.
Damn, he was an assassin.
Yeah, that's why that red shirt meant something. When that red shirt showed up, it's like, this dude's either catching up, because Saturday was moving day. Okay, so we're either catching up or we're taking the lead. And then Sunday, what are we doing? We're watching this jungle cat prowl this grass and mow down everybody. And it was like 37 straight times. Scottie only at 10. Now he's young, so he's going to have to catch up. But it is crazy once you start putting the Tiger records in. It's like, if Scottie's able to do this for another 15 years, okay, there's a chance he can catch him. But that's what golf is. Golf is very much like a 50-year-olds can play professionally. Even 60-year-olds can play professionally. It's a good sport whenever it comes to that.
Yeah, Tiger also had 11 majors at the same age that Scottie is right now. But Tiger, like, when we're talking the men...
What?
11 majors?
Yeah. Tiger had 11 at 28. Yeah. But then he had that decade where... some things happened and he didn't. Like, so Scottie, if Scottie can in his 30s, just
there's that driver hit that back window of his
got hurt.
SUV.
But Tiger
that glass shattered, hit him in the head from the driver. He was at a driving range, took the driver back like this.
Yeah, got
there was a car, like I did with that TV.
Yeah, yep.
I think that's
something like that.
It was years ago.
But Tiger mentally, like, I feel like Tiger's like, like Kobe, like Jordan, like Tom, like Peyton, like guys that are just
Serena, even you can say.
Yes, wired to be the greatest of all time. I don't feel like Scottie's wired like that, and I feel like him trying to get away from golf is better because we've seen runs like this with like Spieth and Rory and Brooks, and they won 4 or 5 majors, but then like it did feel like mentally it got to them, and I mean, it took Rory 10 more years, and Spieth hasn't won again, and Brooks hasn't won again. But it does feel like if Scottie's able to get away,
I'm going to admit, because of everything you just talked about mentally, when I heard him give that answer, just like
I was out.
Yeah, I said, I don't know. I don't know if this weekend's the weekend for him.
Yeah.
Feels like he's thinking about too much.
know.
And then it turns out, looking back on it, it's like, nah, he's thinking about the right things.
Yeah.
He was thinking about all the right things going in.